Hey there, I'm going to try to tell you guys my story about my Ram 3500 2022 model. Super disappointed, and I'll tell you that story. So I bought it a couple months ago. I was headed to clean up after Hurricane Ian down in Florida. I own a tree care business and do a little bit of storm response too. At the time, I didn't have a heavy duty truck. I have other employees that do that kind of thing, but I was kind of going doing my own thing with this hurricane work. So the truck you see behind me is a rental, so I'll get to that in a minute. But I bought a brand new truck, an H.O. Ace and transmission, dually, crew cab. It was black. I didn't really want a black truck, but you guys know it's hard to find a truck. So I bought the truck, and 3 or 4 days later, I went to Florida. I'm in Texas. I live in Houston. And I drove to Florida. I was towing a trailer, not super heavy, maybe 15,000 pounds with a machine and some saws and equipment. And I got down to Florida and worked for about a week, and then the truck started making a weird, when I'd use the exhaust brake, a gurgling sound, like if you've ever had like a bubble in your heater core, or some sort of air pocket in the cooling system. Started making a strange bubbling sound, and the dash indicator light said that I needed to add coolant. And I'm like, this truck has, and it had 1,500 miles on it at that time. And I basically bought it, drove it to Florida. 1,500 miles on it, add coolant. I thought, man, that's weird. Maybe there was an air bubble, from the factory. They're putting out trucks pretty fast these days, trying to catch up. So, I went down to the dealer and bought the right coolant, the Mopar approved coolant, added a little bit, the light went off. So great, because we're doing hurricane cleanup. It's crazy. You're moving real fast. You're working 16-hour days, so I didn't think about it. And then the light came back on, and I just kind of kept that process, adding coolant, the light came on, adding coolant, the light came on. I said, man, this doesn't seem right. I'm worried. Got this brand new truck. So there's a dealer in Sarasota, close to where in Venice, Florida, where I was working. And I brought it in, and they said, we'll check it out. And I just went without a truck, which is irritating. I had a couple other buddies working with me, and we just used their equipment. But so the dealership there fixed it, called me a couple days later, said come pick it up. So I went and got it, and they said, oh, we tested it, and here's your truck back. So I drove it for about 2 hours. Light comes back on again, but this time, before I could even get to pull over, like at a gas station, a huge kind of explosion, sort of from the engine bay, steam coming up out of the hood, dash lights, overheating, warning indicator here and there, and I'm like, oh shit. So I pull over at a gas station, pop the hood, open the hood, and there's just steam everywhere. Obviously turn the truck off as fast as I could, and the upper radiator hose was separated from the filler neck, not from the filler neck, but from where the thermostat housing, where it goes into the thermostat housing. And obviously the truck had just blown all the coolant out of it, and I only ran it for, maybe 15 seconds. There's a gas station really close. So I pull in there and kind of jimmy rig this stupid thing. I get it all put back together. Long story short, it ends up back at that same dealer, and it has been at that dealership for 7 weeks at this point. I'm back in Houston. I have a rental truck. But the gist of this video, I wasn't even going to, that's what happened to the truck. And look, I own a business. I understand things go badly sometimes, and you got to make it right. I wouldn't have sit here and make a video about this except from what happened moving forward. So the truck broke down once. I brought it in. They said they fixed it. They didn't. I had to bring it back, and I was still kind of like, well, benefit of the doubt. they just got hit by a hurricane. Maybe the dealership's a little bit upside down or whatever. But what has happened moving forward is what I really want to talk about and what I'm really pissed about. And I would describe it as just a complete disconnect, a corporate disconnect. Like Ram, Mopar, Stellantis, the parent company, the customer service function, the service network, the dealer network, the all the way down to Chrysler Capital. It's like a complete shit show of disconnected entities that it's like you're not working with the same company. And maybe you're not, right? Maybe these are different entities, completely different companies. But here's how this thing has gone down so far. I'm a fairly mechanical person, and mechanically, whatever happened to the truck is probably not that complicated. It's probably some stupid emissions equipment that was poorly designed or rushed or not put together properly or never was designed to work properly that failed. That's it. Like the EGR failed. That's what they actually told me, is that the EGR failed on the thing and started leaking, and then I got water into this or that, and I get it. That's what happens when you got these goofy systems. But the follow-up of Ram customer care, their towing function, the transport people, the dealer has just been complete nonsense, like a clown show. That I had to leave Florida. Obviously, my job there was to clean up, and that job ends in a couple of weeks. Thank God for Enterprise Rental. Enterprise Truck Rental, been nothing but great. I got really lucky. I got this truck here. It's a dually. It's not an HO. It's not the heavy duty towing package, and I tow pretty heavy, but it's gotten the job done. But I have been renting this truck for over $800 a week for 7 weeks. And Ram says they're going to reimburse me, but I haven't seen that yet. I'm $5,000, $5,500 into a rental, as well as making my monthly payment to Chrysler Capital. So that has gotten me pretty irritated. So first of all, first irritation, your truck doesn't work. Okay, it's a heavy duty truck. People buy these things to work. It's not a race car or a weekend vehicle. I make $4,000 or $5,000 a day with my truck, and I don't have one. So what the hell? That's number one, and I already went over that story. Number two is that I've had to front renting this truck the whole time. Who's got an extra $6,000, $7,000 just to fling around? I can make it work, but geez, you could help somebody out along the way. Number three is kind of what I've been hinting about, this disconnection, communication ridiculousness. So in order to get this stuff done, let me switch hands here, I'm getting tired. In order to get this stuff repaired, right, I've got an out-of-town dealer who I am no longer in communication with because I'm getting a warranty repair. So I had no idea what is going on with the truck, what's actually wrong with it. I would get these weekly phone calls from Legendre is her name, and she's clueless, has no idea about anything mechanical. The fact that it's a heavy duty truck, she has no clue. She's calling me and kind of attempting to appear on top of things, talking very fast, saying big words, but at the end of the phone call, it's like, okay, Legendre, what's up? And there's really nothing to tell me. So that's going on for 7 weeks now. So last week, I finally get a phone call, or I start getting text messages from the automated dealer system, whatever the system that the dealership uses to communicate with their normal clients. I got a text message that says your vehicle's ready, which I'm not flying back to Florida to drive my broken truck home or my fixed truck home. It's Ram's problem. They got to get that thing back to me. I didn't break it. their equipment broke. So I get a text message from the dealer that says, you know, your truck is done. Immediately afterwards, I get a text message that says, please review your satisfaction with the truck. What the hell? You know, I have gotten at least 9 review requests from the entity that is known as RAM in some form or fashion or other, asking me questions about the styling of the truck, and do I think that the technology, the navigation system is good, or you know, how clean was the truck when it was delivered to you? And it's ridiculous. But the stupid truck doesn't work. It doesn't perform its function that I bought it for, and you just keep emailing me. Third-party email, third-party review requests, and I'm blowing these things up. I'm telling them it's terrible, it's a 1 star, it's the worst truck, you know, trying to get somebody to respond. I've never gotten a reply back from any of that stuff. You know, the dealer I bought it from is asking me for reviews. The dealership that's trying to fix it is asking me for reviews. RAM customer care is asking me for reviews. Stellantis is asking me for reviews. All with this attempt to appear like they give a shit. It's like the appearance of virtue, but like no actual help. No truck. I don't have my truck. It doesn't, the thing I paid $75,000 for doesn't work. But let me ask you if you thought that the leather seats or the dash controls were ergonomically correct or whatever. It's just stupid. It's ridiculous. So I still don't have a truck. Apparently, I mean, I guess from this text messages, the truck is repaired in Venice, Florida. The phone call I get last week from La Jean was, I think your truck is fixed. I'm going to double check with the dealer. When would you like to come get it? And I had to remind her, La Jean, I am in Houston, Texas. The truck is in Venice, Florida, and you need to get it here to me. And she forgot that I had told her that a week ago. Says, okay, no problem. Let me get on that. She calls me back yesterday. This is a week later. She calls me back yesterday and says, okay, I was able to get authorization to have your truck shipped back to you, but these things could take 6 weeks. 6 weeks. To it has wheels and an engine. It's designed to drive. And so at this point, I'm losing my mind and super, you know, I'm getting pissy with this poor girl who has no authority to fix anything. I get it. She's clueless and has been granted no authority to fix my problem. She's just a mouthpiece to try to appease me. You know, I understand customer service. You know, they should call it something different. It's not. It's like something to make it look like we're doing something. You know, we're going to hire this person for $15 an hour, and she's going to give you the impression that we are busily hurrying about trying to fix the EGR that broke on your truck, you know. So she says, okay, and I told her, look, lady, I've got employees. I've got one of my guys. I could pay one of my guys to fly to Florida, grab the keys, and drive it home. Like, would you please see if RAM or whoever it is you work for would authorize me to do that and reimburse me for my expenses? And it was like her head exploded. You know, I mean, she couldn't conceive of a creative solution to my problem. It was just like, I don't see that on my box. I don't see that in my list of options for you to choose from. You know, I can only give you a Happy Meal or a number 2 with pickles, and I don't know how to, you know, make a custom order, you know, so I don't know where that's going to go. Probably nowhere. But, you know, I've been bitching for 15 minutes. I think the takeaway for you, if you're looking into buying a Ram, is that there's some mechanical problems with the trucks. There's something going on. You don't have a truck with less than 2,000 miles on it. have all these problems. And I wish I would have seriously looked at Ford. I heard they got problems too. Back over there on the other side of my property, I got an old LB7 Duramax over there. You can't see it. I wish that damn thing, where it has 540,000 miles on it and the engine blew up. But these new trucks, I don't trust any of them. But that's been my experience with a brand new Ram, is that there's some problems with the emission systems. And I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I wish I knew, because I would have done something differently. But for sure, the whole dealer network experience and the customer service side of things and trying to solve problems has just been horrible. And that part is like, that's unfortunate, right? Because that's imminently solvable. A lot I mean, if you got a major manufacturing problem, I get it. That's going to be super expensive and difficult to solve. But not communicating and not giving a customer the information that they need, that's just dumb. I mean, or not being able to solve problems because your bureaucracy is so overbearing and nobody has any authority. I mean, that's ridiculous. So maybe it's that way at all large companies. I mean, I only have like 50 employees, but sorry, now I'm just on a rant. So that's what happened to me with my Dodge or my Ram, and buyer beware. It's been really ridiculous and super super upsetting. All right, that's it. Peace.